Hi everyone, it's Sandy, and today I am finally doing a bookshelf tour. Before I get started, I do want to mention that this bookshelf tour is a little bit outdated because I actually filmed it at the very end of summer and I did not have any time to edit the very long footage that I had during the school semester. But now that I'm on winter break, I'm finally doing it. Although I have moved a few books around, especially with this shelf right here on this side, the overall organization of my bookshelves is still the same. I just wanted to point that out in case you noticed that during the bookshelf tour you notice that these books are here aren't the same as what you currently see. But I hope you enjoyed the bookshelf tour anyways, and let's get started. Here's an overview of my first bookshelf, and this is mainly my paperback shelf. I do have a few hardcover books in here, but it is mainly paperbacks. And then right here I tried to have this little rainbow shelf going on. I've always wanted a rainbow shelf, and I tried doing that when I got my new bookshelf over here. I couldn't deal with books in a series being separated from one another, so I have a smaller one here and I'm fine with that. Right here is my ARC shelf, and then it continues down there as well. I have an empty shelf right here. And then these two shelves I'm not going to go into, but it's just kind of like my storage area, kind of. This is kind of like a main overview of the first bookshelf. And then moving on to the second bookshelf, I don't have much room here, as you can see. I have a lot of empty space down below. As you can see, I kind of organize it by height. It is mainly hardcover, but I do have a handful of paperback books. So here's a look of my bookshelf, like kind of side by side. The brown one is pushed back further into the wall, and this one is like closer to my bed. This is the first shelf, and I don't really have any specific way that I organize it. It's kind of messy, but let's just go with it. I'm going to remove the canvas and this box first. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, The Chamber of Secrets, The Prisoner of Azkaban, The Goblet of Fire, The Order of the Phoenix, The Half-Blood Prince, and The Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling, The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, Dream a Little Dream by Kirsten Gier, Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell, Delirium Stories by Lauren Oliver, The Selection Stories by Kira Cass, Paranormalcy and Supernaturally by Kirsten White, These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, If I Stay and Where She Went by Gail Foreman, Shatter Me, Unravel Me, and Ignite Me by Tahira Mafi, Britt Marie Was Here by Frederick Bachman, and Landline by Rainbow Rowell. Now we're moving to the shelf on the right, and I have this big S that I made in art class, and I'm going to remove it. I also have this Be Brave print that I made, and it's based off of Divergent. The Immortal Rules by Julie Kagawa, 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, The Summoning by Kelly Armstrong, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer and the Evolution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, The Body Finder by Kimberly Durding, Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, The Summer Solstice, Enchanted, The Equinox, and The Descendants by K.K. Allen, and Up in the Treehouse by K.K. Allen. This is the start of my rainbow shelf. Ruby Red by Kirsten Gier, Crash Into You by Katie McGarry, Deity and Apollyon by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Breakable by Tamara Weber, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins, End of Days by Susan E., The Scorched Trials by James Dashner, The Duff by Cody Keplinger, Attachments by Rainbow Rowell, Every Day by David Levithan, My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick, Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins, The Retribution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, Emerald Green by Kirsten Gier, Opal and Origin by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Through the Evernight by Veronica Rossi, and Opposition by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And this is the last shelf continuing my rainbow books. How to Save a Life by Sarah Zarr, Hollowed by Cynthia Hand, Sapphire Blue by Kirsten Gier, World After by Susan E., The Eternity Cure by Julie Kagawa, All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Duer, Into the Still Blue by Veronica Rossi, Pier by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Onyx by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Easy by Tamara Weber, Angel Fall by Susan E., Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Endlessly by Kirsten White, Unearthly by Cynthia Hand, Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi, Unite Me by Tahira Mafi, Sleeping Tom by Evie Fairfall, From a Distant Star by Karen McQuestion, Something Strange and Deadly by Susan Dennard, Boundless by Cynthia Hand, Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins, and Sweet by Tamara Weber. Uglies, Pretties, and Specials by Scott Westerfeld, The Final Empire, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, Pushing the Limits by Katie McGarry, Reason to Breathe by Rebecca Donovan, Sentinel by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Dare You To and Take Me On by Katie McGarry, The Maze Runner, The Death Cure, and The Kill Order by James Dashner, Sweet Evil, Sweet Peril, Sweet Reckoning, and Sweet Temptation by Wendy Higgins. All of the books on this shelf are advanced reader copies that I got at BEA. The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Invincible Summer by Alice Adams, Empire of Dust by Eleanor Herman, Baby Doll by Holly Overton, Furthermore by Tahira Mafi, A Torch Against the Night by Saba Tahir, The Call by Peter O'Guilan, Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow, The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill, The Forgetting by Sharon Cameron, The Woman in the Walls by Amy Lukovics, Our Chemical Hearts by Crystal Sutherland, Stealing Snow by Danielle Page, Rebel Genius by Michael Dante DiMartino, What Light by Jay Asher, Ashes by Lori Halse Anderson, Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, Replica by Lauren Oliver, Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. This is the last shelf on the brown bookshelf, and it continues the arcs that I got at BEA. The Romantics by Leah Conan, The Edge of Everything by Jeff Giles, The 100 Lies of Lizzie Lovett by Chelsea Sidoti, Frostblood by Ellie Blake, 2 Days Gone by Randall Silvis, History is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera, Caraval by Stephanie Garber, a chapter sampler of The Tales of the Peculiar by Ransom Riggs, 7 Days of You by Cecilia Vanesi, and lastly, Can I Sit on Your Lap While You're Pooping, compiled by Matthew Carroll. This is the very top shelf of the white bookshelf. The Glittering Court by Rochelle Mead, Vampire Academy, Frostbite, Shadow Kiss, Blood Promise, Spirit Bound, and The Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead, Bloodlines, The Golden Lily, The Indigo Spell, The Fiery Heart, Silver Shadows, and The Ruby Circle, A Book of Spirits and Thieves and the Darkest Magic by Morgan Rhodes, Falling Kingdoms, Rebel Spring, Gathering Darkness, and Frozen Tides by Morgan Rhodes. And lastly, we have Steelheart and Firefight by Brandon Sanderson. This is my Cassandra Clare shelf. The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reeds Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare, Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, and lastly we have Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. The Young Elites and the Rose Society by Marie Lu, Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo, The Coldest Girl in Coaltown by Holly Black, The Fifth Wave, The Infinite Sea, and The Last Star by Rick Yancey, Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir, Red Queen and Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard, The Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, and Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas, and lastly, A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Divergent, Insurgent, Allegiant, and 4 by Veronica Roth. Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, Winter, and Stars Above by Marissa Meyer. The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. Legend, Prodigy, and Champion by Marie Lu. The Darkest Minds, Never Fade, In the Afterlight, and Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. Delirium, Pandemonium, and Requiem by Lauren Oliver. Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising by Lee Bardugo. The Kiss of Deception, The Heart of Betrayal, and The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson. The Lost Hero, The Son of Neptune, The Mark of Athena, The House of Hades, and The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan. The Selection, The Elite, and The One by Kara Cass, and The Imposter Queen by Sarah Fine. This shelf is mostly contemporary, so this is like the only shelf that's organized mostly by genre. The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton, Slammed, Point of Retreat, This Girl, Hopeless, Losing Hope, Ugly Love, Maybe Someday, Confess, November 9, and It Ends With Us, all by Colleen Hoover. Love Letters to the Dead by Ava Delara, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. Let's Get Lost by Adi Al-Said. Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, Amy and Roger's Epic Detour and Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson, Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, Since You've Been Gone and the Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alir Sains, and We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, Reboot and Rebel by Amy Tintera, Uninvited and Unleashed by Sophie Jordan, Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott, Daughter of Deep Silence by Carrie Ryan, Alienated by Melissa Landers, The Murder Complex by Lindsay Cummings, The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Arie, The Iron Trial by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare, Not a Drop to Drink by Mindy McGinnis, My True Love Gave to Me edited by Stephanie Perkins, Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys, The Archived by Victoria Schwab, The Taking by Kimberly Durting, The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, The Winner's Curse by Marie Rakowski, Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout, This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, Sea of Shadows by Kelly Armstrong, The Naturals and Killer Instinct by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, You by Caroline Kepnes, I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Mend, Revenge, Ice Cream, and Other Things Best Served Cold, and Hearts, Fingers, and Other Things to Cross, all by Katie Finn, Burn for Burn and Fire with Fire by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian, Zeros by Scott Westerfeld, This Song Will Save Your Life by Lila Sales, The Red Pyramid, The Throne of Fire, and The Serpent's Shadow by Rick Riordan, Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, The Glass Sentence by S.E. Grove, Free to Fall by Lauren Miller, The Program and the Treatment by Suzanne Young, 1,000 Pieces of You and 10,000 Skies Above You by Claudia Gray. So this is the last shelf. There is a lot of empty room, and then I have one empty shelf right here on the bottom. The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, Partials by Dan Wells, Dorothy Must Die and the Wicked Will Rise by Danielle Page, and lastly, You Know Me Well by Nina LaCour and David Levithan. That is it for my bookshelf tour. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!